couple more examples of solving inequalities with multiplication and division. Example 3, so on a solving graph, x over or x divided by 6 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Since x is being divided by 6 here, the correct inverse operation would be to multiply each side by 6 or 6 over 1 on the right side and multiply by 6 as well. Think about it for a second. Maybe you need to pause the video. My question is, do we need to reverse the inequality here? If you've paused the video, thought about it, we're multiplying each side by 6. That 6 is positive. Some of you might look at this negative 2 and say, well, we're multiplying 6 by negative 2, so yes, you reverse the inequality. Sorry, that's incorrect. Okay, it's what you multiply or divide each side by is when you want to reverse the inequality. If you multiply or divide each side by a negative, we're multiplying each side by positive 6. So we don't reverse the inequality. These 6's cancel with each other. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. As I mentioned, we don't reverse inequality, so keep it facing the exact same way. On the left side, we just have x. X is greater than or equal to negative 12. And then we can graph that inequality. 0, I'm going to go by 6's on my graph. So there's negative 6 and negative 12. There's an equal to sign underneath the inequality, so the number is included. I'm filling in the circle. The inequality points to the right, especially since the variable is on the left, so our arrow goes to the right. All the numbers to the right of negative 12 are greater than or equal to negative 12. And then on example 4, here's what we have. Negative 3/4 m is less than or equal to 9. I know some people have difficulty when they see a fraction in front of the variable. I think we've talked about before. You can solve this in 2 steps. I'm always going to solve it in 1 step. Okay, if the only thing that's going on with the variable or the only operation is a fraction in front of the variable, you always want to multiply. And you multiply by what's called the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of negative 3/4 is negative 4/3. So that's what we multiply each side of the inequality by, negative 4/3. We do that on the left side and the right side of the inequality. So we multiply the right side by negative 4/3 as well. We're multiplying each side by a negative, specifically negative 4/3. So the inequality here is reversed. We have to use or apply the golden rule. Instead of less than or equal to, it's greater than or equal to. Hopefully you can see okay with the glare, or maybe just use closed captions to see what I'm saying. On the left side, the negative 4/3, it's going to cancel out or cross cancel with the negative 3/4. Negative times the negative is a positive. These 4's cross cancel. The 3's cross cancel. You're just left with 1m or m. On the right side, I'm going to make the 9 a fraction, 9 over 1. There's a couple of ways that you can multiply those fractions. You can do 9 times negative 4, so that's negative 36 over 3, and then simplify that. Or you can do some cross canceling. 3 in the denominator here goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. And then you can just multiply it. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And then in the denominator, it's 1. I can technically write it over 1. We actually have the same solution with a different variable to the last inequality. So you definitely should be able to graph that. 0, negative 12. We have a filled-in circle, and then the arrow goes to the right for the solution of the inequality.